Welcome to an intercultural learning moment, brought to you by Cultural Advantage. In this video, we take a look at a confusing situation for both employer and employee over a brief summary that's supposed to be submitted ASAP. An immigrant was successfully employed as the manager of a project for an organization. The client for this project was requesting an update on progress. So this person's supervisor approached them and asked them to create a brief summary on the status of the project. They asked for this summary to be supplied ASAP. In the supervisor's mind, a brief summary meant something like a page worth of information on how the project was going. And ASAP, in their mind too, meant as soon as possible, right away, to them by the end of the day. However, as it reached the end of the day, the supervisor had not yet received any kind of summary. Several days went by and still no summary was forthcoming. The supervisor was frustrated. They were supposed to meet with the client and give them an update on the project, but without that summary, they were unable to do so. Finally, a few days later, the supervisor received a huge, dense report from that employee. This was certainly not what they had wanted, and it came several days too late for the meeting with the client. The supervisor was confused and frustrated. So, the supervisor decided to call that employee in for a discussion to figure out what went wrong and improve their process of communication. She reminded the employee about the time where she had asked for the brief summary to be submitted to her ASAP, as soon as possible. She let him know that she had expected about a page worth of description of the project at the end of the same day in which she had asked, and that she had been confused that she had received a very detailed multi-page report several days after she was supposed to meet with the client, and that this had caused some complications with the project. The employee, of course, was surprised to hear this. They understood that ASAP stood for as soon as possible, but hadn't had enough clarification to understand exactly what that meant to their supervisor. It was the same idea with the brief summary. Without knowing exactly what brief meant, 2 pages, 3 pages, 8 pages, they went with what their experience was at a previous job, which required very detailed and lengthy reports. This conversation led to a better understanding for both the supervisor and the employee that was managing the project. The supervisor realized that it would be beneficial for them to give more specific detail when making a request. And the employee realized that it was okay for them to ask for clarification to make sure that they have a good understanding of what's required. These realizations allowed them to work more effectively on projects from that point forward. We're looking forward to working with you.